The day I found out my own mother was plotting against me was my birthday. My name is Sana. I'm an ICU nurse and a single mom to my 6-year-old daughter, Ariba. Every day, I save strangers' lives in the hospital. But in my own home, between my own parents, I always felt completely alone. That night, at my own birthday dinner, I overheard my mother whisper something to my father that I will never forget. Tell her son to change the locks on her apartment. My breath caught in my throat. She was talking about me. My own mother was planning to destroy the one thing I had built with my own hands. If you've ever been betrayed by your own family, just type one word in the comments, pain. And stay till the end of this video, because what happened next changed my life forever. My marriage fell apart 3 years ago. My husband, Farhan, betrayed me and left, and I was forced to raise my daughter alone. I worked myself to the bone. Took nursing shifts, worked through the night, hid my tears, and always smiled in front of Ariba. My mother, Shakila, and my father, Aslam, lived close by, in my childhood home. I lived nearby in a small apartment, one I had bought with my own money, my own sweat. That apartment wasn't just walls and a roof. It was my independence. It was proof of everything I had survived. But for months, something had felt off. My mother's attitude had changed. She constantly praised my younger brother, Bilal, a man who never held a job, who always needed money. And whenever I helped him, she'd say, "He's your brother. You should understand." I never imagined they had their eyes on my apartment. It was my birthday, and I hoped, this year, my home would finally be filled with real joy. I made a small dinner, home-cooked food, a card Ariba made with her own hands, and I invited my parents over. Everything seemed normal during dinner. But when I went to the kitchen to bring out the cake, I saw my mother and father standing in the corner. Her voice was low, but I heard it clearly. Tell her son to change the locks on her apartment. Bilal needs a place to live, and Sana has a soft heart, she won't say no. Just change the locks while she's on hospital duty. My father nodded quietly. My heart stopped. This was my mother, the woman who always told me, "Daughter, you are my greatest responsibility," and now she was planning to steal my home. My own brother, the one I had personally loaned money to, twice, from my own salary, wanted to take everything I had built. I stood there holding the cake, breaking apart inside. But I made a decision, I would stay silent. I wanted to see how far they would go. The following week, I was on a 12-hour night shift. When I came home, I found my locks had been changed. My key didn't work anymore. Bilal was inside, watching TV, as if it were his own house. I knocked. He opened the door casually and said, "Sis, this is my house now. Mom said you'd understand." I stood there in shock. My daughter was beside me, exhausted, trying to fall asleep in my arms, and my own brother was throwing me out of my own home. I called my mother. There was no shame in her voice. "Beta, you're a single woman, you don't need it as much. Bilal is starting a family, he needs the house." Tears filled my eyes, but I didn't cry. I quietly hung up the phone. That night, I took my daughter and stayed at a friend's house. But my heart wasn't looking for sympathy anymore, I wanted justice, not tears. The next morning, I went to my lawyer, Advocate Farrick. I told him everything. He asked, "Whose name is the apartment registered under?" I said, "Mine." I registered it myself, with my own life savings. The lawyer smiled, "Then don't worry. The law is on your side." We filed a report for illegal occupation at the police station. 2 days later, I stood at the door of my own home with the police and my lawyer beside me. Bilal's face went pale when he saw the police. He tried to make excuses, but the law was clear, this was my house, my property, my hard work. The officer gave him 24 hours to vacate. When my mother heard the news, she called me, screaming, "You threatened your own brother with the police? What kind of daughter are you?" I simply said. Mom, you took my home from me. I'm only asking for what's rightfully mine. A few weeks later, my mother came to my apartment, alone, quiet, with shame in her eyes. Sana, please forgive me. I was blinded by love for Bilal. I never realized how much it would break your heart. I looked at her, the mother who gave birth to me, but who never valued me until she needed something from me. I said, Mom, I forgive you, for my own peace, and for my daughter's sake, so she doesn't grow up carrying hate. But I won't let you mistake my forgiveness for weakness. This house is mine. My hard work, my sweat, my sleepless nights are built into these walls. My mother cried, but this time, I stood firm. I picked up my daughter and told her. Ariba, remember this, no one can take away what you've earned through hard work, not even your own blood. Today, 2 years later, I still live in that same apartment with my daughter, in peace, in my own space. Bilal is busy with his own life, and my relationship with my parents is now built only on respect. That blind kind of love, where my sacrifices were mistaken for weakness, is gone for good. Sometimes, it's our own blood that hurts us the most. But protecting yourself, your hard work, and your children's future is never a sin. If this story touched your heart, hit like, share your own story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because we'll keep bringing you real stories that touch the soul.